I'm excited, man, going into summer, man. Obviously, just finishing up spring ball. I would say from day one, man, to practice 15, obviously, with us finishing the spring game today was a huge jump, man. We see a lot of growth. We've seen a lot of guys come together. We've seen a culture change. And the expectations been set high, man. So for these guys to embrace that and embark on that and continue to come out day in and day out and work hard, I'm excited as a head coach. Obviously, there's a lot of areas we'd love to improve on, but, I mean, that's what we have these practices for, is to get better.
Anything you really feel like you need to get better at? I mean, is it just across the board, a lot of little things? Is it, you're going to have more personnel in, obviously, but
I mean, I think just individually as a team, we have some individual performances that obviously stood out, but I think as a team, if we can get them individual standouts to come together more on a team level, I think, we'll be moving in the right direction. I think it's a lot of guys that we was able to identify through this process to, see the pedigree they have in them, obviously, is what we need to accomplish what we want to accomplish. So just think getting more guys to kind of, embrace that and just kind of follow along with the other guys who's emerged as leaders and who stepped up. And I think today, obviously, it was pretty obvious to see kind of who some of those guys were. So I think, we just kind of let the standard be the standard, and guys just have to follow. I mean, the workload is going to be the workload regardless. You know what I'm saying? I just think guys got to just embrace that and just keep fighting through it.
It must be nice, DeSean, to have a kid at quarterback. You know how important the quarterback is.
Sure.
Who's played a lot of quarterback at this level. Does that make you feel good about what about what he brings to the field?
Yeah, I mean, Marquis a playmaker, man. He can do some special things with his legs, as you saw today. I think he scored like a 50-yard touchdown. Him to make plays on the ground, obviously, we would love to improve other areas as well too. I mean, but overall, I think he's able to show that he can get it done. We just got to keep building on it. We got to put him in situations to make him uncomfortable to see how he will perform in those situations, because nothing in this sport and in this game is just going to be easy. So adversity is going to come in and set in. So we just want to put our guys in the best situations possible to see how they will perform under adversity.
Would you say the offense or the defense is ahead right now? I mean, either group have an edge right now, just in terms of how they're learning things.
Yeah, honestly, I think the offense started off on fire. The slide offense. Obviously, Coach Nemo Washington implemented some powerful things in the offense. I think throughout the time, defense kind of caught on. Defensive coordinator Brandon Blackman started throwing blitzes and throwing different looks. So it came a point in time where it's like, man, the offense was really dominant, and then out of nowhere, the defense just started making plays, man. And I think to finish off, I think it's pretty even, man. It's pretty even, and I always preach to my guys that, if we can match each other's play from every three phases, offense, defense, and special teams, man, we're going to be a dangerous team.
what were they excited about there at the end?
Oh, man, because obviously the offense won the game. I think it was like 21-16, but I was asking the offense if they wanted to give the defense another shot at, playing some more. Some of the guys were like, yeah, let's go. Then we had some guys like, no, man, we won. If you win a championship, you can't go back and win that and play that championship over. So I just think these guys, man, if we could, I think they would be out there all day playing against each other, man. That's good to have guys that love the game like that.
How many guys do you have out there now, and how many will you have when you open camp in the summer, in August?
So I think right now we have roughly like 63, 64 guys. Summertime comes, man, we're gonna push 90, man. Hopefully, we opted in. I don't know if I can say that, but yeah, we opted in to be able to have a larger roster. So I think that cutoff is like 95 guys. So we're going to try to get as close as possible as we can to that. So it'll probably be at least like 30, 35 guys coming in for summer.
What was your biggest lesson you learned in your first spring ball?
Man, I think, just in general, man, I think life in general, man, every day you get an opportunity to learn something. I think for me it was just enjoying the process, man, just being able to be on this side of it now. And there's a lot of things that I didn't know being a head coach that, I respect a lot of my head coaches a lot more now, because it's a lot of things, and half of them don't even got to do with X's and O's. But for me, man, I come to work every day, man, I'm rejuvenated, man. I'm excited to be able to help these young men in life in general, man. Some of this stuff doesn't even have to do with football. It's just, how do you motivate these guys to go to class? How do you motivate them to be young men, community citizens, and, respectful men just in the community? So I think, for me, it's not even the football. Football is only a small portion of it, so I just enjoy that part of it.
I know we talked about, beating University of Delaware.
Yeah.
And then winning the MEAC in the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah.
Any more aspirations after that?
That sets the bar pretty high. I think, I I don't know when the last time we beat Delaware, if we ever beat them before. So I know they beat up on us pretty much, and I know they're probably looking at that game on their schedule as a walkover, you know. So for us, we're just going to use it for what it's for, and then we're going to come up and be ready to prepare. I mean, for battle, you know. So.
And definitely, I know you mentioned that, you know, they beat up on you before, but this time, like you said, the culture is changing.
Yeah.
Can you reflect on that?
Yeah, I mean, the culture definitely around here is trending in the right direction. I don't think it's quite where we want it to be, but at least we installed it, and the guys know what to expect, and you know, we won't accept nothing less. You know, I think everybody understands that, and to be a part of this team and the goal we need to go to, guys got to reach higher standards. I don't care who you are, and including myself. Like every day, I challenge my coaches, I challenge myself, and you know, we're gonna get the success because that's the mentality we're gonna have.
Still interested in playing Michael Vick in Philadelphia if you can?
I don't know if I can release that information, but we're trying. We're trying any and everything we can to get that game at Lincoln Stadium, Financial Stadium. My head guy, who was when I was in Philly, was my security coach. I mean, Dom was here, man, and he's trying to work some things behind closed doors for us to get that game in there. So it's a possibility for sure.
Have you and Michael been able to kind of share what it's like? You guys are both kind of going through the same thing as first-time coaches at this level. Have you guys been able to kind of, you know, bounce things off each other a little bit? And
Definitely.
Talk
I think, you know, the biggest thing about me and Michael Vick, man, we're real brothers. You know, we have a brotherhood that's special, and I think through this process, man, we're obviously. We're faced with some obstacles at, you know, being at a HBCU and, you know, the resources. But, I mean, one thing I would say, we're putting all our resources together, man. We're trying to do any and everything we can to get guys to come on and kind of just back us, man, and support us. Because, you know, it's tough being at HBCUs just because of the resources that we don't have. We're not like the Alabamas, the Georgias, and big-time schools with all that funding behind them. But, I mean, I think the more we come together, the more we're trying to do, you know, things to help impact young kids' lives, young men's lives. I think, you know, that'll help more people get behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And touching on that, you know, we covered HBCU sports. Is there a message you want to deliver to the whole HBCU community?
I mean, man, HBCU, man, it's back. I feel like the era of HBCUs are back right now, man. I think a lot of schools are doing some great things, man. Some guys that played the game are obviously getting these opportunities. We're able to be at these seats, be in those positions. So, you know, I think we need each other, man. We got to lean on each other to get the success, man, because if we had a success, then that'll open up the doors for more, you know, retired or ex-athletes, NFL players to be able to be in these positions. So, you know, the biggest thing I can say is I lean on the coaches that I respect, you know, at a high level, and I learned from them, and then what I do, I just implement things that I learned from them when I was young and when I was playing, and, you know, I'm implementing to how I'm a head coach now.
Appreciate your time, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Nice to
Appreciate
talk
it.
with you. Thank you,
Appreciate you.
sir.
Thank you, man.
Yes,
Thank
you
you.
got it.